Our challenge is around working from home, reinventing the idea of telecommuting and working from home. It's a fairly old idea. As you know, lots of experiments have been done on telecommuting over many, many years, but we're thinking that there's an opportunity to significantly change telecommuting by having a persistent, high-speed data connection to people's homes that would allow high-definition video and audio connections during all work hours. This graph shows you the tremendous differences in traffic patterns across a week in New York City on internet traffic. It spikes to a high of 500 gigabits per second during prime time and sinks to a low of about 50 gigabits per second during the middle of the night. For those of you who are familiar with the patterns of television viewing, you'll note that internet traffic patterns are now following the same patterns as television viewing. The highest consumption periods are during prime time from 7 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock at night. That's no surprise. The peaks on internet traffic revolve around Netflix usage, Hulu, Amazon, all streaming video services. Once prime time is done, traffic declines substantially, and you can see that during working hours from, say, 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's tremendous excess capacity in residential neighborhoods on the internet. Now, that capacity cannot be used in any other way. Because of the mix of dwelling types, commercial clients can't use that capacity. That's capacity in residential neighborhoods. So if we wanted to, we could have home workers have a very high quality video connection to their homes throughout the workday. Now, working from home has always been fairly controversial. You've got very smart people. There's a nice graphic that staff.com did showing that smart people like Bill Gates and Richard Branson think telecommuting is a great idea, and other people that we all respect, like Michael Bloomberg, says telecommuting is one of the dumber ideas I've ever heard. And of course, we're all familiar with Marissa Mayer's decision to shut down telecommuting at Yahoo as soon as she took over the presidency there. So how can we change it? There are clear benefits from working from home. You've seen these cited for years and years. For an employer, you get to reduce the amount of real estate that you are paying for. You get, hopefully, a higher caliber employee in a lot of cases. You have access to a wider talent pool. You have decreased turnover of your employee base. From an employee's standpoint, you don't have to commute. You save money on commuting. You have much more flexibility in your work hours. You know lots of these advantages. And then, of course, there are the environmental advantages of having fewer people in the transport systems and less consumption of fossil fuels. But there are a lot of challenges for working from home as well. Over time, a lot of these experiments have failed because employers don't have the oversight over employees that they would like to have. It can be difficult to measure employees' productivity. That was Yahoo's issue. They said that for the type of employees that they had working from home, their productivity fell over time. They needed people to be brainstorming together and innovating together. They lost that brainstorming synergy. But for certain types of employees, like call center employees, customer service representatives, technical representatives, working from home could work very well. The problem with telecommuting from the employee's standpoint is cabin fever, the sense of social isolation, which can be very destructive over time. And a lot of employers have seen people's productivity fall just because they don't have the stimulation of the social interaction that they need and they get from working in an office environment. So our challenge is to try to improve on this through a persistent video connection. And the project as we envision it has both physical design elements to it and a lot of social design elements. So the physical design elements would revolve around sort of a virtual cubicle in customers' homes, in employees' homes, excuse me, where you would have two screens in your cubicle. One of those screens would be your usual PC screen, your productivity screen, but the second screen would be a high-definition television. And on that screen would be persistent video access to your supervisor, perhaps all of the other members of your team, and you would have some sort of interaction with those people throughout the day. We don't know exactly how this would work, but virtual coffee breaks where everybody would be talking freely, breaks before the business hours would open in the morning, breaks for lunch, chat times at the end of the day. The idea is to try to create a virtual office, not a different experience at home, but something as close to being in the office as you can possibly be, with the benefits of the social interaction that come with that. So we're very excited about this ourselves. We've just started a small trial out in Queens with a handful of employees, 10 employees. We don't have that set up as well as I think we should yet, and we're looking for schools or students who would be interested in refining that test with us. We give you access to that trial and the people who are involved in it. And importantly, we want people to refine the formula with us and see if we can't make telecommuting a much better experience. Thank you.